In today's video, we'll be seeing some of the most unusual foods that will definitely make you ask yourself, can we really eat that? If you plan to visit China, then you're most likely to encounter some exotic delicacies you might not have even thought were edible in the first place. What's the most unusual food in your country? Let us know down in the comments. Crocodile. Would you believe that you could get a whole crocodile from your local Walmart? Well, in China, you can. Crocodiles are said to be one of the most dangerous predators on Earth, but when the predator becomes the prey, you'd best believe that only the most daring of food lovers would ever brave the jaws of a croc just to have a taste of it. In China, a crocodile is said to be one of the best medicinal treatments to cure respiratory diseases like asthma and coughing problems, which would pretty much give you an idea of why this beast is highly sought after in the market. In fact, almost 40% of China's crocodile meat are from imports from countries like Thailand and Indonesia. The taste of crocodile meat is likened to the taste of chicken meat when cooked, and this reptile can be cooked in all sorts of dishes, like stewed crocodile, curried crocodile, barbecued crocodile, and more. Its fame rose so much that it even expanded its terrains all the way to the Philippines, where they have crocodile lechon, which basically means roasted crocodile. Live octopus. Octopus is a delicacy all over the world, but have you ever tried eating an octopus so fresh it can still crawl itself out of your mouth? Well, in China, eating fresh live octopus is definitely something to look forward to. A fresh octopus retains its subtle sweetness once eaten, and together with sesame oil and chili sauce, it might definitely give you a unique eating experience. Thing is, a trip to the hospital right after eating one is also a part and parcel of the experience. This treat is certainly not for everyone, and definitely not for anyone with choking tendencies, since this is pretty much an extremely tasty choking hazard once consumed. After all, a fresh octopus can latch onto the throat once threatened, and a Heimlich wouldn't be able to solve this problem, so better stay cautious before eating this particular meal. Drunk shrimp. If the food lover in you wants to try something new, best believe China is a destination for some spirited food tasting. And by spirited, we don't mean it just for the eating alone. Your meal is definitely going to give your taste buds a kick, especially for this unique shrimp dish. Drunk shrimp is a Chinese dish that pretty much tells you what its main ingredients are. Drunk shrimp is served in both restaurants and by street vendors across the country. But however this is prepared for you, this is a dish served cold. A bowl is usually filled about halfway with Chinese baijiu liquor before a handful of live freshwater shrimp are immersed in the alcohol. Another bowl is placed on top, covering the dish while the shrimp jump about and become more and more sluggish as the alcohol hits them. The dish is usually ready to eat when the shrimp appear drunk enough to eat. Century eggs. Unlike how the name suggests, these eggs aren't actually stored away for 100 years. Though for some, its taste and smell might make it seem aptly named. This Chinese delicacy is a well-known treat all over the country and was said to have started production over 1,600 years ago. The eggs are made from the usual duck eggs, but are preserved through wood ash, salt, lime, and maybe tea, with some rice straw or clay. These eggs are stored for 12 days to a month before they're sold, and by then the preservation process would have broken down the proteins in the egg, causing it to turn gelatinous with a creamy and flavorful center. You could pretty much guess that not everyone would love this particular exotic taste, but with that said, you'd never know if it's a no or a go without trying it for yourself. Stinky tofu. Would you consider eating a dish that smells like garbage? We're pretty certain that you won't. But in China, stinky tofu is a particularly celebrated street food that you just can't seem to get rid of. Stinky tofu is made through fermenting regular tofu with brine from vegetables and meat. This takes place for several months before it's sold to the market, making the flavor and the smell very intense from its original form. If you're familiar with the smell of stinky cheese, then this particular dish wouldn't come so surprising, and though its smell might make you cringe, its taste might make you reconsider the reason why it's called a street food. Usually sold at night markets, the stinky tofu comes in a variety of colors, ranging from fried golden brown to Hunan-style black, depending on where it's made. They say that the stinkier it is, the tastier the flavor. The smell might repel any first-time eater, but once tasted together with its signature chili oil, this stir-fried treat is sure to keep you coming back. Bear paw soup. Bear paw soup is a grisly meal in more ways than one. This particular dish is definitely the least heard of, but surprisingly one of the oldest dishes made in China, particularly under the rule of King Zhou, a bearish, brutal king of the Shang dynasty. This meal is definitely a dish made for the rich, as its particular preparation, together with its specific front paw ingredient, makes the soup cost a whopping $1,000 per serving. The bear meat in the soup is so meticulously made, it's said that the paw itself had to be fermented for 2 years before it could be served. It's definitely a one-of-a-kind luxury for any food connoisseur, but not so much for the bears involved. This dish, however, might be on its verge of extinction, with laws protecting poaching against bears becoming stronger. That is at least some good news for our furry friends. Chinese herbal jelly. Culturally known as guilin-gao, this sweet dessert is a herbal jelly made from more than 15 natural herbs, making it a traditional medicinal cure for indigestion and high blood pressure, with the added benefit of cleansing or detoxification. Now, from the outside view of it, guilin-gao seems like a typically jello dessert, but the secret ingredient in this sweet treat is what makes this dessert rather unique. So what makes this jello extra special? Aside from its medicinal properties, guilin-gao is best known for its base ingredient, ground turtle shell. Traditional guilin-gao recipes require boiling turtle shells for many hours, first by itself, then with a variety of herbal ingredients, so that the liquid is gradually evaporated and a jelly-like residue forms. It's not an everyday treat that you get to come by, but hey, adventure starts with the unknown, right? Centipede. Let's be honest, when we run into a giant centipede, we're definitely going to hightail ourselves the other way around. The Chinese, on the other hand, well, they have a different kind of approach. Introducing centipede kebabs, a crunchy, venomous snack that can only be found in China. This delicacy is definitely going to give you nightmares served on a stick. Usually found as a street food in the night markets of China, this particular snack is said to be able to cure different kinds of diseases, like herpes, cancer, and tuberculosis. But unsurprisingly, these bad boys prove to do more of the opposite than good. If untreated or served raw, these insects could end up carrying even more dangerous parasites that could be invasive once consumed. Other than giving you the best crunch experience, there are definitely no proven benefits to taking in this giant creepy crawly. But if you're into the exotic experience, then go for it. Just make sure to check in on a doctor after you eat. Bats. The culinary cravings of the Chinese palate knows no bounds, and with that said, leads us to the last but certainly not the least item on our list: bats. Chinese bat soup is a dish that has caused a lot of social media hysteria ever since the COVID-19 virus outbreak. Bat meat wasn't particularly illegal, but it definitely made an ew impression among locals, making it not so much a crowd favorite within the country. The bats that are used in this particular soup, though, are fruit bats, whose diets remain mostly on its namesake. Bats are in fact well-known couriers of viruses, and though it was never really proven to have COVID-19 come from them, I'd still stay clear from the adventurous taste I could get from the meal all the same. Thanks for sticking with me until the end. Like the video if you do, and leave a comment. Also, make sure to check out the channel's other amazing content. And as always, thanks for watching.